Hi, everyone. Michelle French here.
And I'm Kent French, and together we are the Frenchitivity family, along with our now 9-year-old daughter, Everly. And back in October of 2024, we decided to step away from our busy careers, rent out our house, world school our daughter, and travel the world. And that we did. And we created the Frenchitivity podcast to talk to like-minded people, couples who did something similar, who kind of stepped out of their comfort zone, kind of jumped off that cliff without a net, and decided to do something different to create a more fulfilling life. And that's exactly what we did. But right now we're pivoting a little bit, Michelle, on this podcast. We like to call it the Frenchitivity Travel Series, as we're going country by country, recapping our trip around the world. It is country number 3, which is Croatia.
Yeah, and up on today's episode, we take you through our adventures in Croatia, which include Zagreb, Split, and Dubrovnik, and let you know our experiences, the people that we met, the places we think you should visit, and a couple funny stories along the way.
And don't forget, you don't need to take notes because
we create a PDF for you that you can check out afterwards at Frenchitivity.com/Croatia, where we add all the details, links to things that we may have booked, places that we stayed. It's all there summarized for you. So just listen, enjoy, receive, and then check out the PDF afterwards.
We hope you enjoy this podcast, and as always, we hope this conversation inspires you.
Frenchitivity, Frenchitivity, all over the world.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Frenchitivity podcast. Kent French alongside Michelle French. Yes, and together we are Frenchitivity, along with our now 9-year-old daughter, Everly. And this is stop 3 on our journey around the world, Michelle, as we do the Frenchitivity Travel Series, if you will. So we had Portugal, we did Greece. Now it's time to go to Croatia. Why Croatia? Michelle, why was that on the map for us?
Well, and to take us a little step back, for catching up anyone who might be joining us for the first time, if you are welcome, and hope you stick around. This is part of our 10-month world travel as a family, and like Kat said, taking you through each of the stops. So why Croatia? We had some dear friends and family that had been to Croatia, and honestly, though, secretly, maybe not even secretly, it was all about the Christmas markets. We knew our timing would be just before the holidays, and we've heard just such incredible things about European Christmas markets. And in our opinion now, there's no better place to experience that than Croatia.
Yeah, a lot of the friends that have been to Croatia was more of a summertime thing, so that's a completely different experience. So yes, Christmas markets. That was why we went. So we flew in from Athens to Zagreb. But initially, Michelle, we weren't going to stay in Zagreb. We're going to jump in a rental car, and drive to Split. But after further research by you said we are not going to Split. We need to stay a couple nights in Zagreb, and thank goodness we did.
Yeah, you can't miss the capital, and you cannot miss Zagreb. And yes, we just had this feeling that it would be a place that would be really special. And yes, exactly. Thank goodness it did not disappoint. From the moment we arrived, it was, I don't know, we were wrapped in Christmas spirit, and really pretty unforgettable.
Yeah, I mean, we've used the word magical many times in this podcast, but I think it would be necessary to bring that word and that adjective up another time, because we got to our hotel in Zagreb a little bit late, but what we did is we just dropped our bags and it was time to go. And at the front desk, we were like, where do we go to get to the Christmas markets? They're like, go out, make a right, and just keep on walking, and you will not miss them. And we did not.
We're like, I wonder how far are we going to have to walk?
Everything was lit up.
Yes.
And it was, I mean, this is during the week.
I think we saw like the reflection of the lights, like even in the sky, of pink and blue. And it was a skating rink.
It wasn't a sunset. It was a skating rink.
It was probably the biggest outdoor skating rink. And it had like tracks. There was the center part you could skate more traditionally, what I have seen in the past. Then there was like the outside track in case you were really fast. Is that why? Why was there an outside track?
I think it was, just more creativity. It was cool.
And then there was a DJ. So, I mean, I'm in. And then there were ski chalet booths that had.
I love your description because this Christmas market thing is new to all of us, but the ski chalet booth was such a good description.
So cool.
Yeah.
The ski chalet booths that were offering mulled wine, hot gin, hot cocoa. I don't know. We're like, what is this? What is this place?
What was mulled wine? Like, I've heard of it. How have I been missing out on mulled
sure.
wine my entire life?
I'm not sure, but we don't anymore.
Mulled wine is not just for the holidays.
No,
as far as I'm
so they
concerned.
take their combination of mulling spices, and that's a bit secret depending on where you're getting it from and who made it. Everyone has their own recipe, but they've got the hot wine basically ready for you, but it's got spices and just a delight.
Yeah, and it made it even taste better with the mugs they gave us. So it wasn't just some kind of a throwaway disposable paper cup.
No.
This is a mug with like Christmas sweater designs on it.
Like
it
a metal
Yes.
Christmas.
And it just tastes better. It's like wine tastes better in a nice wine glass. Mulled
And
wine
so
tastes
in a
better
mug.
in cocoa for Ev.
Yeah.
Full disclosure. But yeah, so it was terrific.
Yes, it was terrific. Now, one thing I will say is these markets were cash only, which is very interesting in that we are now used to a society where we can use our cards. And I think eventually we found some where you could use cards. But for whatever reason, in this moment in time, it was cash. And we had a little bit of euro at that point. So we figured that all out, but it's definitely something to keep in mind that some of the markets prefer to use cash. So always have some cash on you because you need a warm beverage as you potentially skate, or a cookie or a hot dog, and more on that later.
Mulled wine. This was the kickoff point for me in mulled wine. I mean, just kept going.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. More stories to come on mulled wine, with mulled wine. But after that,
Anyway, we're in this most historic city, and we're only talking about.
I know,
but it was a big deal.
Exactly. Banjelacic Square.
Mm.
We're going with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are many famous markets, famous aspects of markets all throughout Zagreb. So when we had asked at the hotel, they were sort of like, just wander and walk. And it was true that you could just run into these different markets. But this one in particular is the town square and has the Advent wreath, which is,
It's like a life size.
I mean, beyond. It's
Giant.
beautiful and huge. And so they start the Advent and they light a candle every night. And it's really beautiful. And I think when I saw that wreath, because the first Christmas market we saw was very, very cool, but I wasn't necessarily like in tune with the depth of Christmas in that moment. But when I saw the wreath and the Advent, and then kind of took a moment to realize that we were in a place that was celebrating Christmas and the holidays in such a really unique and beautiful, historic way, then it kind of changed everything for me about what we were seeing. And the Christmas spirit was all around.
So trying to put this in perspective, we're trying to grasp what we are seeing. Like, it is a weekday. It is packed. The streets are packed. Everybody's out and about. This is a thing every single night.
And may I mention, dressed to the nines.
Dressed to the nines.
People in Croatia were, I mean, it was stunning. It was cold and everyone was so fashionable and just, they were also just so happy. So everybody looked great because they had a smile on their face.
Giant advent calendar. We also found a giant snow globe.
Yeah. You got inside a snow globe.
We all did. And
We all did.
it wasn't in operation. I think it's one of those where you jump in and then they fire off some air blowers and you have fake snow around. So we're
Snow.
throwing at each other. So that was awesome. And then we found a cheese and wine shop.
We did, which is like along another little plaza behind the main square, where then there were even more booths of the traditional ornaments and handmade goods and all the kind of things that you could purchase that were of the market side of things, not just like the food and the wine, the actual market.
So that's just night one. I mean, we got in
And like late.
and so we walked around and experienced all of this. And so the very next day, it was time to experience Zagreb during the day. And Michelle, again, she's the researcher and the planner, and she's got it dialed in. She's like, you know what? We need to hang out on the funicular. And I'm like, what is
What is
funicular?
that? What is that? It's the shortest. I don't know. What is it? It's the shortest actual public transportation
in the world. Yeah. It's 217 feet long. Takes you about 60 seconds to get up there.
And it just takes you from a lower part of the city up to the higher part of the city. But it's really fun, and it's really quite the sight to come and get your tickets and get in with the conductor and take a very quick ride from the bottom to the top.
Well, it was built back in 1890, and there's a 52% grade between the lower city and the upper city. So this was a way for people to get up, take their groceries or whatever it may be, to get up to that upper level. So it's just the history behind it. Again, going to the World School thing, kind of a cool thing that we saw, the signs and the history behind it. We're up on the very top. It was a very special thing to do.
Yeah.
Thank you for finding it.
My pleasure. Thank you, people, for building it.
Thank you
and
for
letting it still be there.
Yeah.
And at the top, you can talk about parts of the, we're still in search of a story always. We're always trying to find people to talk to. But also part of going to the top is that you can, again, get to the other part of the city, other side of the city, and see the roof tiles. They're very famous on St. Mark's Church.
St. Mark's Church.
And so we got up there, and in the distance a bit, you can see the tiles. So we start walking towards the tiles and part of another square, and you met a friend.
Yeah, a young man's playing guitar. So
Nice.
as we do, we go up, we had our camera and our microphones are ready to go. By this point in the trip, this is stop 3. Now we're just approaching people and saying, hello, I'm Kent, and putting a microphone on at the same time. So he didn't speak a lot of English, but I give him, again, all these people that we've spoken to on our travels. Trust is the word that I use. And I give them all the credit in the world for doing the best they can for some English-speaking American walking around the streets asking for an interview, not knowing where it's going to land, trusting me that I'm going to put him in the best light possible. So it was a great experience. I sat next to him. We talked about his influences. He mentioned the Rolling Stones. And then I said, can you play a tune? And sat next to him, and he played an entire tune for us. He was living the dream. And that's what he wanted to do, is be a musician.
Yeah, he was really positive about his
Very
story
positive.
and how often he was able to play music. And if he could play music on the street and make people happy, that was really part of what he was trying to do. And so we were quite charmed by him.
Each and every person we spoke to was an inspiration in some shape or form. It was very special. These people, he was tremendous. So Yakov is his name. Keep an eye out for him. You never know where we're going to find him, hopefully one day. So are we going to move on to the second night? Should we?
Yes, sure.
So,
Is that
so nighttime. Yes. So the night fell again. And it was time for
we're
more
like, yes, yay,
Christmas
because it's Christmas market
The lights are back
time.
up again. I think we need to let everybody know, though, about this incredible kind of park gazebo area that we fell upon. And it had music every single night.
Yes. Yeah, it was, again, kind of a central area that you come across as you're walking through, and a big square park, yes, with entertainment and, again, booths, ski chalets set up everywhere. And this one had a different feel in that the other one, the first one was around a skating rink. The second one was in the town square and just like a very bustling area. And then this was like a little bit laid back, a lot of families. Now the booths had things for kids as well. And the entertainment is really, of course, what drew our attention and got us in. I think we heard Bocelli the first night.
Well, there was, yes. And I'm glad you brought that up, because there was a moment when a gentleman got up there and he sang Bocelli a cappella.
Yes.
And everybody stopped in their tracks and were just mesmerized. And if you just take it all in, we are in Zagreb and in a Christmas market, a gentleman singing Bocelli, and it's just kind of ringing through this park where everything is lit up. Every tree has a light on it. All the Christmas markets are there. People are happy. it was just a perfect scene. And I love how you said people were just happy. And it was just a joyous moment. Yeah. So, but then as we do, we wanted to get a hot dog.
Is this the first? I don't know. Yes. Anyway, yeah. So they have grilled sausages, hot dogs. The wafting smells from the ski chalets are impressive, and so you kind of have to pick the best one.
Well, they all kind of have a similar menu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So right.
The hot
How do
wine,
you know?
hot gin, hot chocolate, and hot dogs. And they have these incredible big pans of sausages and dogs that are out there. And I think this might have been her first encounter.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So one of the gentlemen that was working at one of the booths that we went to was incredibly gregarious, great personality.
Having a really good time.
Having a fun time. His name was Frankie. So what did we do? We pulled
talked to
Frankie
Frankie.
aside. He came out,
Yeah.
smoked a cigarette, and we did a little interview with Frankie. So that was one of our...
Yeah, and it was really cool because Frankie told us about kind of how you get the booths and what the history of being able to secure a spot is, and how important it is for the small businesses to be able to get in those spots and survive and thrive. And he was opening a second spot, and a really cool perspective because he also told us about his family history and where his family had come from in Croatia. Some areas that we were going to be visiting. He had, some roots in those different places. So we got kind of a geography lesson from him and a Christmas market lesson from him. And just, again, entrepreneurial spirit and understanding what it meant to be part of that market.
Yeah, and the person that was working with him was like, hey, Frankie.
We're coming back over here.
He's got a line
No.
all the way out, so he had to get back there and get to work. After that, though, we finished our evening back in the square with the Advent calendar. And then
the huge Christmas tree that
huge
day.
Christmas tree. There was a Santa Claus. There was a giant somebody dressed as a bear. There was so much activity going on. Yeah.
There was. Well, that tree is so big that you walk
How
under
big is it?
it?
Thank you very much.
It's so big that you walk under it and you're really within the branches of it and they're still up above you. Anyway, there's a video of this if you want to see it. But yeah, just striking and fun and playful, really playful in that particular area.
Yeah. So we thoroughly enjoyed our experience there. And then it was the next morning, it was time to go to Split.
Oh, yeah, it was. It was time to leave Zagreb for the moment and had to Split, which again was where we were going to start. So we had a rental car. We drove. Kent drove.
Drove again. I think at this point in time, for some reason, I end up on the wrong side of the road on this drive.
You did?
Yeah, there was a construction zone and a stop sign, and I went off road.
In Dubrovnik.
Oh.
Yeah. But if you want to insert it now,
I don't know. I remember something happening like that. So, yes.
That was around the bend in Dubrovnik. There's video of that, too.
No, there's not.
Yeah. So, no, this drive had a different surprise element to it. So, you might remember we're chasing the sun in this trip, partially. And now we've been in Zagreb, where it's cold and we're wearing coats. And now we're heading to Split. So we're like, well, that's going to be a little bit warmer because that's a little further south. And it's on the water. And that's why people go to Split, is to like island hop and amazing. And we're driving and it's gray. And we go through tunnel after tunnel after tunnel. And then we're looking off in the distance to the right. And I'm like, is that snow on those mountains?
Yes.
There's snow.
And I'm probably not going to say this right, but these tunnels, they call them an engineering marvel because they get you quickly through the Dinaric Alps, if I'm saying that correctly. But also, the tunnels are a gateway that separates 3 completely distinct climate zones in a matter of hours. Therefore, we saw snow.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is happening
Yes.
here? Yeah, it was crazy. And some of these tunnels were quite long.
Really long. Yeah, very long. And it was just a little surprising for us. It was still a great drive. It was a beautiful drive. It was an easy drive. It was really fun. But we're like, I don't understand why there's snow.
So on this trip, it was mostly Airbnbs. We stayed at a few strategic times in hotels. One of them Zagreb, another one will be in Japan, another in Malta. When we get there, we'll tell you about that. But so we did extensive research prior to just kind of where should we go? Where should we stay? Geographically, what's the best location to the different places we want to go? I would say that this next spot in Split was the perfect location.
Absolutely, it was. And we wanted to be able to be near Split, but also stay in a place where we could have some space and some other attributes and be able to navigate that whole area. So yes, this Airbnb offered a trampoline, which was...
That was a surprise. That was bonus. We didn't even know that was going to be
Yeah,
there.
it was big bonus. It had a pool that we knew, I mean, again, we've talked about this a little bit, that we knew it would be a bit cold for that. We did understand that, but there was a hot tub too, so that was good. But it had this great location between Split and Trogir. I know I don't say that right either. Pardon me.
Trogir.
Trogir. Which is another great small town. So yes, it was a great location for us. And
Can I say what the name of the town is?
oh yes, please.
Kashtela.
Kashtela.
That's the name of the town we stayed in. Kind of a fishing town. So we were able to walk to the water from our place, see it from our place. Rocky beach. Then we found a walkway. And once again, there was pretty much nothing there. Nothing open, I should say. But you could see Split in the distance from where we're at. Also, don't forget about the heated floors in our Airbnb. There was a gas fireplace as well. We had some weather situations that we'll touch on in a moment, but we spent many time playing cards. And did you mention the bunk beds?
No, not yet.
Bunk beds.
Big hit when you're traveling with children. So
there were a few things that Ev was looking for. Swimming pool and bunk beds were kind of like on her list. And so we tried to oblige whenever we could.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like you're saying, I mean, just from a geography standpoint, we were really learning the geography of the area as well and what it was like to get to Split. So it was a wonderful seaside village.
So then we drove to Split,
Yep.
Which wasn't too far at all. And we got to experience Split during the day and Split during the night.
Yeah. And again, we've mentioned like Split is really known, obviously, in summertime months, warm months with, beautiful yachts coming in and boats coming in and out. And the harbor is gorgeous, spectacular. So we experienced it during the day, walked all along the harbor, began to see the sunset, and
Gorgeous
the sunset
sunsets.
was so striking. And it was chill in the air, but the sun was warm, and so it was still a gorgeous day. And I can only imagine in the warm weather, of course, how epic, and all the seaside cafes, and everyone's outside and everyone's drinking their coffee and just enjoying, even though it's winter and it's cold. But then it begins to transition into the evening and the Christmas market feel. And what transpired then?
Well, the lights up here, which is crazy because you go down this walkway, it's almost the boardwalk, but you mentioned the cafes, but there were lights.
All strung above.
And
And
it's like
another
this
skating rink.
incredible, it's almost like this gigantic net of lights that went all the way down. So during the day, you go, oh, this is cool. But then in the night, it just changes the environment completely. And yes, there was another skating rink. There was a beautiful fountain that would change colors. Again, these alleyways, they're not alleyways, they're streets with gigantic
It's so funny. We just
stone
get
walls.
lost in all of these walkways and streets. And we'd heard about a candy shop from our friends that we were like, we need to find this. And so we kind of got lost in these labyrinth of streets. And if you go kind of behind where the main square is, you are suddenly discovering little hidden.
Every turn.
And there'd
every
be like
turn.
a cafe
Yeah.
that was also in these back walkways. It's just so cool. So
Zagreb still took the cake when it talks about the extensive of the Christmas markets. This was still amazing. But if we hadn't seen Zagreb, probably would go, no, this is great. But
yes.
but Zagreb was still pretty much top notch when you talk about the Christmas markets. But of course, get a little hungry, walking around these cafes.
Yeah, and how do you pick? Because they all look amazing.
The olive tree
The
is
olive
where
tree?
we ended up. And it was, I mean, I think we kind of picked it because there were these beautiful decorations and Christmas trees, and the patios
outside
were
on the patio.
beautiful. And so that was just, it was next level.
Yeah, and then we went in. We just walked in to see the inside of it, and inside it's like kind of a cool, trendy restaurant. And there was this whole wall of Grey Goose bottles that were lit up and like art. And I'm like, This town is very cool in the summer and very cool at night. And yeah, go back with your kids when they're older or when they are going to be somewhere else, because we understand that Split obviously can be very fun, but to emphasize that on the off season still, I mean, just incredible and great for families during this time of year.
Well, we've said before we like our wine and cheese, but we also like our Grey Goose martinis.
A wall full of
Oh, like a Christmas tree of Grey Goose just right there. Okay. So,
and actually, fast forward, we do have friends that have gone back to the olive tree since. They knew we had been and saw our
neighbors
videos before, and our neighbors. So shout out to them that they actually did visit the olive tree based on our recommendation, and they did have the summertime experience. So we can vouch for it all year long.
So we love to hike. We love the outdoors, and we are certainly advocates of it on this trip. And we talked about it in Greece and the hikes we went on and the walks and the beaches. But here, Krka National Park waterfalls was something that came up as like a must do. When you look at the Split area, that is a must do. Waterfalls.
Yeah, natural wonders in this incredibly expansive park. And many of the once again, photos and reviews are in summer months and just many, many, many people. So again, an advantage of off season is that we decided to navigate. So we drove from our Airbnb to the national park, and not a bad drive.
About an hour and a half.
An hour and a half.
Yeah.
And you enter the park grounds, and it was a little bit confusing kind of leading into it because you can navigate it yourself, and there's 2 entrances. So you have to understand which entrance you're going in, because then you can buy tickets to go into certain sides of the waterfall and kind of navigate. So it was fun though to try to figure that out, because it's also seasonal and had certain hours. So truth be told, like all the way there, I'm like, I really hope this access point is open, because we were able to buy tickets, but then it's really specific about make sure you get the right date and make sure that you've checked the seasons. And I'm like crossing my fingers the whole time.
Well, to your point about trying to get in, we just didn't know if it was open, and then we were the only one other car was in the parking lot, and then, so we're on our own. There's no
and
there's no ranger or anything to tell us where to go.
Our guides at other times, so even when we parked and we were like, I think this is where we go in, even that we're just like, I don't
tour bus
know.
parking and all, but yes, you can only imagine what it's like during the summer.
It's like we were the only ones in the parking lot of anything. I don't know. It was pretty crazy. But we got in, we got access, and again, I mean, what an experience to see these incredible waterfalls on our own, as Kent said. And so there's this moment where we're walking through, and
can I take you back for a minute? Because we drive in, and then we don't know where to go to the navigation point.
Right.
It's this dirt lot, but then you have to drive through, and then it's down a winding road, and we're still not knowing where we're going. And then we came upon this rushing river, and this parking lot, and this other, it looked like a small village what we came upon. So it was kind of crazy that just to driving through on your own, kind of winging it, and we're able to find it.
A lot of people go on tour bus, like you said, that there's tour bus parking, and anyone we've talked to since or learned more about, people go on these big tour buses, which you've kind of already learned is not the Frenchitivity style to do it that way. I mean, certain things we do, but I mean, we'd rather just like not even know if it's open and just go figure it out. So it was a village, and we're walking through it. So we haven't even seen the big falls yet, and we're already captivated. It's already beautiful, and we didn't even know what we hadn't seen yet. So we're going through this, the walkways, and you can walk over parts of the water, and there's bridges, and Everly and I are just like kind of running ahead and holding hands and just staring into these, I mean, incredible waterscapes. I don't know what else to call them. And it was a bit chilly, but like so mystical because there was rushing water everywhere. And then we come across this like, well, I didn't know what it was, this building that we chose to explore and learned it was one of the first
hydroelectric power plants dating back to 1895. And you could sense the power of this water that we're walking over. that is just that generate power. I mean, and then they had areas of where they used to get the water and where it turned the turbines and where they kind of had that historical kind of recreated the scene of what it was like back in the 1800s.
Yeah.
It was awesome. But again, we were all by ourselves. There wasn't anyone there telling us anything about anything. Right. And there was a cool little historical area where we walk in and there were murals on the wall with facts and, all kinds of historical nuggets to give us along the way. So it was pretty cool. And the Krka National Park waterfalls consist of 7 total waterfalls.
Yeah. So there's a couple iconic ones. And if you look up pictures and you see, there are visibly huge imprints of, how massive these waterfalls are. And so, the biggest one. Sure,
you want me to go with it?
Yeah,
want me to give it a shot?
I'm like,
Skaradzin ski book. Skaradzin ski book. 17 steps or cascades this particular waterfall has. It runs 800 meters.
Yeah, and we have a really cool picture, like with this kind of in the background, looking back towards it, and you can see how the falls cascade down. And so, I mean, as they do, one connects to another. So for us, we're used to like waterfalls and hiking, and you go, and maybe it's like one stream of water coming down a mountainside. I mean, that's sort of what we've seen before, what we're used to. And then this was like, I don't know. For me, it felt like a rushing river with a lot of inlets that then was made vertical. And it's like that, but they're all coming down. I don't know. It kind of defied gravity in my mind. I'm not really sure.
So looking at some of the pictures, like Michelle mentioned, though, there's boats that go behind the falls during the summertime. There's people that swim through the falls during the summertime. So there's a lot of summer activity involved. And another aspect of this adventure was behind the falls. Behind the 7 waterfalls, it's the water rushing towards the falls, and there are these wooden plank walkways that are intertwined and go all around this back. It's almost like a meadow, marshy type area, but water's flowing quite rapidly in areas, and it was cool. I remember following you, as I did most of this trip, following you and Ev, but you guys were just talking and chatting, and there's no one around, and you're walking in this incredibly picturesque setting, and we're pointing out fish and wildlife and plants and flowers, and it was just one of those, and all you could hear was rushing water. It was a really serene, peaceful moment for me, and I know that it was really special for you and Ev too.
Yeah, I mean, it's again one of those moments where you're just really being mindful of it, taking it in, like I'm soaking in the full experience of this moment where, your little one is eager to explore with you and be with you and is just delighted at the sights and the sounds and that we're the only ones. And it was just absolute a bonding of a sort that you just feel in the moment where you're like, I'll always remember what this feels like. And I have many of those examples throughout this journey, but that was definitely one because it was completely sensory. Like there was a smell of the rushing water. There was a sound to it. There was a feel in the air. There was a crispness. It was a little bit cold. It just has like a full sensory experience. And sometimes when you're in a place and it's very crowded and a lot of things are happening, it's a little bit hard to really take all those in. And so that was one of those moments where I was like, this is what it really feels like to have all of your senses alive and on fire and to be with the people you want to be with.
Yeah. So a great experience. And
highly recommend.
While we were in Split, Michelle kept saying, I want to take a ferry to Hvar.
Hvar.
And
okay, so we left the falls. We're moving on. We left the
falls.
We left the waterfalls.
Moving on.
We'll be back.
Trying to find this ferry.
So incredible.
Trying to, and this again is a very popular summer thing from what.
Yes.
So
you island hop. You go to Hvar, and I mean it's the whole reason I think that you go to Split, and I think that's why you go.
So
I wanted to go.
It wasn't running. Ferries weren't running.
It's cold and it's winter.
Nobody else wants to go. Nobody wants to go except for us.
Yeah. So when we were in Split, we were not able to coordinate the schedule, and our Airbnb host was even trying to help us figure out if there were other ways. And but then we discovered there are other islands. Like I don't know if it doesn't always have to be Hvar, but there are other places to go. So don't worry, we still got on a ferry eventually.
To come in a moment. But for someone who traveled the world, I am very directionally challenged. So thank goodness that there is someone like Michelle in my life to keep me heading in the right direction. Ha ha ha. So that being said,
What happened?
when we're at our Airbnb,
Mm-hmm.
we are going to split from there was what direction?
Well, I'm like, I know.
I know,
it
right?
was further. It was southeast over there.
So there's about 30 minutes to split, and it was about
Mhm.
30 minutes then. Because what I'm getting at is we're going to Trogir.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go
The other
way,
Oh, the other way.
the other
Yeah.
direction to Trogir. So our Airbnb, as we mentioned, was kind of right in between, which was a great location. So we did go to Trogir for a day. Very charming small town. But one thing which was crazy about this small town is that there were massive yachts. They were
Massive.
bigger than in Split. And they were just massive yachts lined up one after the other.
Just docked there.
Yeah.
Yes, there were.
Yeah. So it was,
And also walls, and also, the way it was like forged in, and the waterway there was equally stunning.
and then we were there during the daytime, and it shifted to night. Once again, kind of the smaller.
Isn't that where we saw school get out too? We were walking
School
by
got out,
where the
yes.
boats were, and a school got out, and it was one of those moments where I've had the realization again of like, oh, other kids are,
Are
in
going to
school right
school.
now, and able to have that moment of, this is what we're doing, this is why, and you're right, other kids are going to traditional school in this way, but isn't this neat to see how they do it here and what their school looks like, and they all got out and they were all running around for the afternoon. They were out of school, and it was pretty cool to see her just kind of like observe other kids.
And Trogir had the small town square. Again, they're kind of a Christmas markets, but on
Yeah.
a very smaller scale, all lit up.
It also had a cool park. It had like this cool web climbing structure, and
yeah, then we
cool.
found a bridge.
there was a bridge.
Really cool architectural type wonder bridge that just stood out. It's like, why is this here in this older city, in this new, brand new bridge? So Trogir, fun to see.
Yeah,
But
really
before we leave Split, though, we have talked about the weather. Again, we're chasing the sun.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't happening.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we get 5 days of rain, and one of them hailed.
Yes, it did. And how often do they get hail in Split?
Our host for the Airbnb calls Michelle and says, "Are you guys okay? Because
There's
I have
some-
lived here all my life, and it has never hailed."
Never hailed. So he came to our Airbnb that night because he wanted to make sure that everything was okay, because he had actually never seen hail. And we have pictures that we went outside and collected it. We have pictures of us like holding ice. We're like chasing the sun. No. But what was cool about this is like these days of rain and being in. I mean, we still did a lot of exploring, considering, but what do you do at home when it rains? You bake cookies. So we went to the market. There were local store. We shopped a lot and made dinners at home. And so we went to the local market, and we got ingredients to make sugar cookies. And we got back, and we didn't have any measuring cups, but we had a digital scale. So world school. No, we learned, and it is better to measure. You know that, right? It's better to measure your dry ingredients by a digital scale.
Sure.
Baking is better when you have exact measurements, because then there's air in the measuring cup. Anyway, we used a digital scale. We made cookies. We made really good sugar cookies. And
Good.
then we were able to give those to some people and leave them different places because we made way more than we needed. But it was Christmas time, and so we made our gingerbread. Well, they weren't gingerbread. Our gingerbread-shaped sugar cookies.
So we left our Airbnb and continued our journey through Croatia to our last stop, which was
Dubrovnik.
delightful Dubrovnik.
Okay. Dubrovnik, yeah.
The Airbnb we had there was 20-minute walk from the old city and the city walls. Perfect location.
Absolutely perfect location.
Perfect location. Our balcony had a view of the water.
Mm-hmm.
So we got there that night, got us situated, walked to a restaurant across the way. The next day, I was able to take the car back to the airport because there was no need for the car because we could walk everywhere. So
And the parking spots were really small.
very small.
It's just not needed to have a car there.
And our Airbnb, for the most part, our Airbnb hosts were amazing throughout the course of this trip.
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
this one in particular stood
Yeah.
out. again, we'll have that location and everything in the downloadable PDF of our Croatia journey. But it just so impressed with the way they followed up and continued to make sure we were okay and had everything we needed. So
it was a brand new place, so really well appointed. And yeah, I mean, really the best part, like you said, is that we walked. So then the next day we walk in and we began walking on this sidewalk and this path. We knew it wasn't too far. And just the sights everywhere. We pass a gate that has locks on it. So it's a locks of love gate with inscriptions. And we'd seen some locks of love before, but not with like this incredible sea view behind it.
the Love Locks Wall, I think is what it was called. And it had a view of the Adriatic Sea.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Really cool.
And then we continue to walk on these stone paths, and we, for the first time, see the walls of Dubrovnik. And it's really powerful. Again, it's one of those moments that we've referenced before where you're seeing history and seeing an area that has been protected and has seen so much in terms of transitional times and war times and history. And, you feel quite small and quite part of it all at the same time.
You realize how young the U.S. is.
Yeah, we keep saying that a lot in these conversations.
It kind of just hits you. I mean, we're walking on and through walls where the construction began in the 12th century and continued to the 17th century.
Yeah.
And it was neat. That's another one of those world schooling moments where Everly now is able to feel, touch, walk, experience, see the relationship between how the walls protect this city. And there were places inside, museum inside the old city we walked around. So a lot of historical places where we could really kind of understand what we were walking into. So it was special, but
So we didn't walk the walls that day
No.
yet. We came in and just like looked in. Again, it was like nooks and crannies and like almost like secret passageways between. So we were just sort of taking it all in, how close we were, what was happening, getting a feel for it. And then again, it becomes evening and night falls and Christmas markets
it becomes
again.
completely a different
It's totally
feel,
different.
because now you have the way it's lit up are these limestone walls that are so, not only the walls surrounding the old city, but then the buildings and everything is limestone. So these lights are shining up as far as, and just this really medieval feel.
Mhm.
And you walk through a drawbridge
Yeah.
to get into the old city. But yeah, and this is where I think hot dogs took on a different
I think
feel
this
for
is
this is kind
where.
of when
Yeah.
they're just different there.
Yeah, so again, there were the booths set up and some that were things you could purchase, but other food vendors. And again, we had the mulled wine advertised, and I think that first evening, I was like, I would like to have a hot dog here, and we're like, yeah, definitely. Again, they are different than anywhere else. They boil them first, then they grill them. So incredible, and it was her favorite
Where did we go?
treat. I believe it was something to the effect of hot wine, hot gin, hot cocoa, hot dogs, hot guys.
Pretty much.
I mean, market it however.
Why not?
Why would you?
We
So
went right to
these
there, and so let's
clever
go.
young men had a very clever sign that were like, all right, you win, because that's a cool sign and you're funny. And we'll have some hot items here.
Great personalities.
You got to if you're going to put that on your sign.
So we made it a thing to walk down to the old city pretty much every day.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Every night, because again, the lights and the spirit of it all, and these little, again, hallways where you can just go down and like find another restaurant or find another thing happening. So every night it was really fun to walk down. And it would get a little bit colder, as the night would go on. And so we would have dinner, maybe walk around for a bit. And then as we'd start to walk back, I would be like, well, let's get a mulled wine to walk home. And then Everly would be like, let's get back. Who can go the fastest? And she would wanting to run home. And we're trying to not let her get too far ahead of us.
Well, truth be told, though, this road was only for buses, and there's a reason, because we were timing it. So
Yes.
it was so narrow that you almost had to put your back
You
up against the wall
Did have to do that.
to have the
Not
bus
even
go
close.
by.
You felt it like breeze. You felt the breeze. My hair would like blow.
So,
as it came
Ev, it
by.
became this game, especially at
game.
night, where probably wasn't the best idea, that there were some stretches where it got pretty narrow.
It sounded a little unsafe. It was totally fine.
So we put back the mulled wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like small portions.
Sure. I was getting doubles, I think, by the time it got to that point. Yes, so that was fun. Oh, but before we leave, kind of Dubrovnik, though. Oh, do you want to mention the chestnuts?
Yeah, and another place that we discovered when we actually did walk the walls. So yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
You
you're right.
start.
You're right.
You start.
So one time we were walking into Dubrovnik and the light was still out. We smelled this amazing smell, and we know the song "Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire." As far as I'm going to go, that was happening in front of our very eyes. The holiday gods were saying, "We are going to give you roasted chestnuts." This older gentleman had a little cart, and he was roasting chestnuts.
Yeah.
And sure enough, we go up and get a little bag full of chestnuts. It was awesome.
I mean, you can't get any more like holiday spirit than that. We are going to say something else about walking the walls, but I wanted to mention that again, this is a place where I felt like, as we examine the true meaning of Christmas, the true meaning of the holidays for us, what a European Christmas feels like, it was another place where I really felt like we were taking in traditions and holiday spirit in a very different way. That it felt like, yeah, it's about having a nice experience walking together and chatting and laughing and talking and getting roasted chestnuts and sharing them and delighting in having one for the very first time, and just really having a different feel than maybe the hustle and bustle and the shopping, which have a place. We all appreciate certain aspects of that, but this was so intentionally different. And it meant a lot to me that we were slowing down in this way. We are used to a very fast pace around the holidays here. And so to really just slow down and have that true holiday spirit, I felt that.
Okay, tell them about the place.
So we did walk. So you do pay to, it is a museum. You pay to be able to go up and walk the perimeter of the wall, and you can walk all the way around the city.
6,360 feet of wall.
And it is worth every step, every moment, the view, the history, the experience of walking. And some of it's narrow and some of it's quite wide. And you're in the turrets and you can go up a couple stairs and then it leads kind of nowhere and you come back down.
I had to take the audio off the camera because I was huffing and puffing. It got so annoying. It's a workout, folks.
It's a workout. It is. And it was mid-afternoon one day. And again, the sun kind of begins to set as we're finishing our walk. And
nobody there.
At one point when we're further out along the seaside, along the Adriatic, we look down and we see something that looks like tables are out or like a terrace. And maybe someone's down there having an afternoon cocktail of some sort. We weren't really sure. We're kind of like, was that happening? Did you see that? I saw that. Like, wonder if we can try to find it. So after we walk the walls, we're like, let's go for an explore and go down all the different back hallways and alleyways and see if we can find it.
What?
And we found.
Yes.
And did we?
Well, it was like it was that moment. So we're walking. All of a sudden, we see this golden beam of light coming through the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this.
There's video of this too. We are not exaggerating.
There is this little sign that says Booza Bar. And I'm like, what is this place? So you walk
and
through.
Is there any chance this place is going to be open?
It's a beacon of light saying, Frenches, we need you. And so we walk through. And as you walk through, then all you see is the Adriatic. You are the bar is in
the wall.
So you walk down this deep set of stairs, stone stairs, and you walk and you kind of make your way around to the left. And then there's this bar that's open and the sign says Booza Bar, but then there's these crates that you sit on and like makeshift tables.
And you can go further down. There's more steps that get questionable.
Oh.
if you want to go down and sit even further. And there actually did end up being a couple other people that came in after we were already there. And
where do these stairs lead to, Michelle, during the summertime?
cliff diving. Multiple levels of cliff diving. And why do we know that? Well, no, we've seen video, we know. But, of course, we got to ask questions. We're in this place. So we find the nice bartender man.
Dominic,
who I'm not sure that he wanted to talk to us. But
nope.
Then he ended up being so informative.
Again, we said, hi, Dominic, and put a mic on
Right.
Dominic.
And Dominic's like, I'm just
he didn't
trying
speak
to work.
didn't
And
speak a lot of English.
I
It was a
think I'm about to
slow. It was a
close.
slow day. He's like, why are
you suddenly come in here and I'm trying to go home. And we're like, we're never leaving. We might never leave. But yeah, so you can navigate down. And then I guess you're welcome to in the summer. Was it like 3 different levels?
Yeah.
I don't remember the heights. You do have this? Do you know?
They're hundreds of feet. But just put it this way. You're drinking.
Mm,
There are rocks.
mm,
And you need to jump out
mm.
to get in. You don't just jump. It's not straight down. You need to jump out and down.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't
I was
seem like
feeling
a great
more the
idea.
vibe of like, I'd like to be on a boat in the water looking back at this as well as being here looking out at it. I'm not feeling the need to dive off of this into the water. But we looked over the edges. Actually, the first one we saw, I thought was quite high. And then he was like, well, look up. There's the other ones up there. And I'm like, what are you
Go online,
talking
check it
about?
out, watch our video. We
We'll
took
connect. We'll link to
pictures.
this in
Yes.
the show notes to show you some videos of this because it's
You can access the water just to swim into the Adriatic,
that
or
might be
you could
nicer.
jump
You could just swim.
in the water. Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Anyway, this
Anyways,
bar, highly recommend.
we like
Very
to call
cool.
it the bar at the end of the world.
What's the bar at the end?
Thank
of the
you,
world?
Kenny Chesney.
So then that put a bow on our amazing time in Dubrovnik. Actually,
Ferry. We finally got on a ferry.
Oh, we did get on a ferry. Sorry.
Yeah, we finally got on a
And
ferry.
there's actually a couple other things we did. We're not done.
Yes, we're you can tell we are reliving this with you. So we finally found a ferry because Michelle's like, we got to get a ferry and explore some of
I
these
was
local islands.
determined to get
here.
into this water
Absolutely
in
determined.
some way.
So we got on a ferry and found a ride to Xipan, spelled Sipan, and it was pretty cool. And we were it was suggested to take a picnic, so we packed
Yeah.
lunch.
Yeah.
Again, we had a 1 or 2 stops to get to Xipan. Got off the boat. Some other cars, same type of thing, came off. We got off, and we had our lunch. And everyone jumps on a bus.
Yeah, we saw there were little, not storefronts, but there were other little buildings in the port area that we got off the ferry. So we figured this is where you're supposed to go, like hang out. So we take our picnic over to these benches, and it's along the water, and it's very quaint. And we're like you said, having our picnic. Everybody else gets on a bus and leaves. We are all alone again.
All by ourselves.
Like all by ourselves. There's no, suddenly there's no one. We're like, is a boat going to come back?
Yes, it's really, and there's really, yeah. Yeah, so we eat our lunch. It's beautiful. We find a bench. We eat our lunch, and then we start to walk.
And then I'm like, I feel, because I don't know. We heard there were wineries, or
There's signs. There's
We
all
saw
kinds
signs?
of signs.
I'm not sure.
Wineries,
Yeah, okay, so there's signs.
olive oil tasting, wine tasting, all kinds of signs. We're like, that's
Amazing.
so good right now.
Sounds really nice.
When doesn't it? But that's
Let's go for a
even
walk.
better on an island in Croatia. Let's go wine tasting. This is where I really didn't like that idea,
Yeah,
but
no.
she's going with us. So we start walking, and as we have stated before, and we'll state again, we got lost in a good way. We just kept
Like
walking,
really lost though. On this
following
particular
signs.
island.
There's just now we're seeing vineyards, deserted restaurants,
Mhm.
cafes, wineries, and we're like, where are we? Then we
Because
end up.
nothing is open.
Then we end up in like this neighborhood
Yes.
area, and there's this gentleman who's starting his cars and,
Working on a car.
letting them run because this is his summer house. We find out. Tell you about that in a moment. And he is coming here to make sure everything is in working order so it's ready for the summertime. So I approach him.
He's sort of like, why are you people walking through the neighborhood?
And
Because
I'm
no
like,
one else is here at all.
Excuse me, sir. Where is the winery?
Is there a winery? It's so funny now.
And now that I look back on it, so anyway, so then I say, "Where's the winery?" And he's like, "There are no wineries
Well,
open."
he's yes, because he said, "Oh, the winery's right there.
Right.
The winery, you just passed it. It's down on the left, whatever he said." And but it's not. I don't think they're open. And we're like, "Oh, we know they're not because there was nothing
Didn't
down the
speak
street."
a lot of English, but then he's like, "Hold on for a
But
moment."
he understood.
And all of a sudden, he disappears,
Mm-hmm.
and he comes back with a chilled bottle of Cabernet and hands it to us.
Gave us a bottle of wine from the winery that is down the street, and he is like, "We're friends. I know them. If they were here, I'm sorry. I want you to have this bottle of wine."
The more I look back on, I
does
wonder if he wanted us just to leave.
Oh, I mean, definitely. He definitely wanted us to leave, but he could have done that in many ways.
And I tried to put a microphone on him. That didn't work.
I actually think
No, he didn't want to talk to us. He just took a picture.
we took a picture. Yeah. I was like, I was going to say we have a picture with him, but
Yeah.
that's what, yeah. But he was, I mean, how kind. I mean, if some random family was walking down my street, I'm not sure that I would come inside and provide them a bottle of wine. I don't know. But anyway.
Unbelievable. So we had
It's
this
really cool.
great bottle of wine. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we again, we've said so many times, we just enjoyed walking and kind of getting lost. But then this really was like an island and we're like, we're not sure where we are.
Well, it's funny. There's this one moment too where, I got the camera out, of course. I'm taking, there's like this hospital and I'm taking, what a cool shot. I'm taking this picture and a bus stops and someone gets off and it just takes off. And Michelle's like, "Whoa, it was a bus." I'm like, "Yeah." Like, you didn't want to stop it? I'm like, there's got to be another one. Like,
Because you can't run ahead of Everly
Yeah.
and I. We were not.
we
by the
hadn't
bus
seen one in
the
an hour, so maybe.
And we had seen nothing. And Ev and I were further back, and I see this vehicle stop. I'm like, oh, surely Kent's going to wave them down and make sure they stay because we don't know where we are.
No,
He's
he
like,
got my shot.
No,
so I
I
waited for him to leave so I could get my shot.
"Okay."
Yeah, no,
So we stayed stranded on this island for like 5 days. No,
I know.
we didn't. We had a bottle of wine. It would have been fine.
And grapes. So we made our way back to the port where we were dropped off.
Right. Yes. Where we were dropped off. And then there suddenly was a person in this ticket booth thing.
Mhm.
And then we asked, "Oh, when is the ferry coming back? How much?" And I don't know if she said there's no ferry coming to this port or if she just was like, I don't know. I don't know. Somehow
Didn't
she
make
let
us
us know
feel very good.
we could take a bus to the other side. I don't know what. I don't know. Anyway, we could take a bus. And then and we're like, okay, we want to do that. And she's like, stand over there. It's going to come. And finally, some gentleman who we actually had seen closing a shop before that came down. And we're like, are you taking a bus to the other side? Oh, they thought we were just.
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, I'll be in 5 minutes." We're like,
Yeah. And he assured us, like, oh, yeah, this is what you do. You can take this bus. And anyway.
so what we found out is we jump on the bus. And it was about a 15-minute ride to the other side of the island.
Which was
Beautiful.
amazing. I mean, now we see the wineries and the land and the beauty. And this place is just like the bus ride was one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, it was great. So we go to the other side of the island, and all of a sudden we see all the people that
All the
were
people
on the
that have
ferry
been on our
are
ferry.
there. So really cool. There's another little inlet, like a little harbor that was there. So, I mean, really neat older boats. Obviously, no one on them. I mean, it was so picturesque. I mean, it looked like a painting.
Yeah.
Really, it was that beautiful. And so you kind of walking or making your way around, and you see some shops and restaurants, and nothing is really
Nothing's
open at all.
there either.
But we ran into the Studenats market.
Would you see these markets a lot? This is like the
It's like a mini
name of
mart.
most of the markets. Yeah.
So we see this market, and there's people standing in front of this mini mart. So we make our way over there, and by this time we're thirsty and a little hungry, need a snack. So we go in and we get a couple beers and get a snack for Ev, and we ask the young lady at the checkout counter, and she's like, "Yeah, you can just go drink it out front."
Not only that, but this is also very foreign to us of like any place where you can just get like a single bottle of beer and drink it. She's like, "Oh yeah, you can drink it outside, like on the patio in the waterfront, and it's not a restaurant. There's no tables." We're like, "Well, isn't that just public space? Like, what do you mean?" And she's like, "Yeah, you can just go drink your beer out there." We're like, "Oh, well, do you have a bottle opener? Could you help us with that?" And she's like, "Yeah, hanging on the pillar outside where it's always been like, oh, I didn't realize that every store in Croatia just has a bottle opener hanging on the pillar outside.
So she was absolutely lovely. So what did we do?
We asked if we could interview her.
Yes,
And
we
she
did.
said yes. And
Yes.
we did. And she was amazing.
And there was no one in the store, so she just came
She
out
came
front.
outside.
And her name was Mary. So we did a story and we said something about Mary.
And she's moving to America, so she might be listening now. She lives here now. And
it was such a cool, and again, just fascinating people, incredible stories. She'd only been on the island at the time for like a year, but you're right, she was moving to the U.S., so she was kind enough to talk to us and do an interview. So that was a lot of fun. So thank you, Mary, for that. We hope to run into Mary once again down the road. But before we leave Dubrovnik and Croatia,
so now we get on the ferry and we make it back.
we end up making it back. Yes, just so everybody knows.
Actually, it was actually very cool because then we come back and sun was setting, it was becoming nighttime. It was like, again, just being on the water. It doesn't matter. It's so beautiful.
So the holidays and the Frenches like to send out Christmas cards. And we thought, what a cool idea it would be to send out a card while we're on the road from somewhere. And really, how can you get better than the old city and the backdrop of the old city of Dubrovnik? And so Michelle found Flightographer.
Yeah, so I don't know if anyone is already familiar. Flightographer is a very cool concept where photographers all over the world can be part of this membership, and it offers photography services anywhere you go. So once you are on the site, you can pick any location and find a photographer so you can get your family photos done anywhere around the world, and US based as well. And you can view the photographer's work. It's a great concept. It's really cool, especially if you want to find someone who has already been vetted out and has reviews. And so we found an incredible photographer, and he was more than just a photographer.
Bojo.
Actually, Bojo. And so he took stunning photos of our family all throughout the old city, had some amazing places to go, really good eye for where he could find really neat places that suited our family very well. And then, of course, we sat down and talked to him because that's what we do.
He's also a chef,
He
a
is.
drummer, and his parents own a winery on a small island off the coast.
Yes, I mean,
Sure.
what more could you
Why
want?
not?
Why not? And so that was a great experience to be able to then have photos to create a card and send to everyone while we're on our travels, just to still have another tradition that we kept up.
And speaking of backdrops too, we would be remiss without saying, so Michelle got certified as a yoga instructor. So we tried to have Michelle do a flow with a wonderful backdrop. We did one in Portugal. We did one in Dubrovnik with the city walls behind her, which was pretty darn cool. It was actually one of the settings where we had our photo. That's what made me think of it. We did our photo shoot. So really, really cool that we were able to do that.
On the rocks,
On the rocks.
by the water. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Good studio.
Good
It was a
studio.
good flow.
So when we look back at Croatia, I think one of my favorite moments, two moments that stood out to me. One was just the Christmas markets in general, specifically Zagreb and the mulled wine, and just to see Christmas through the eyes of another culture, the Christmas spirit through the eyes of another culture, and to be able to experience that with you and Everly was just magical.
Yeah.
Magical. And there's so many great other beautiful sites, but then of course just the walls, the city walls of Dubrovnik, the history behind it, just the beauty, the limestone, the scenery, the red tile roofs of the old city, and then to your right is the Adriatic Sea as far as the eye can see. So it was beautiful. It was historical. It kind of brought it all together.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't say it any better. Couldn't agree more. I also do think the waterfalls were pretty epic in terms of just such a natural wonder. And so I would want to add that to the list. But the waterfalls and the city walls, and we should mention, we each have a slightly different favorite spot. When asked, Everly's favorite spot is Croatia. So
Why?
it will always be very special to us.
Why?
Because she was there with us.
What's the
And
second
she
reason?
loves us so much.
And she loved the hot
Hot
dogs.
Best hot dogs
Best
in
hot
the
dogs ever. When
world.
people ask her,
Exactly.
yeah. So that is our trip to Croatia. We hope you enjoyed. And Michelle, I'm gonna turn it over to you to let everybody know what they need to do to download, follow, rate all the great things you do in Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, we appreciate you. And if you would be so kind as to rate, review, and certainly follow the show. If you happen to listen on Spotify, you can subscribe. And if you think anyone you know would like what we're talking about, please let them know. And it helps a lot if you leave a comment or a rating for us, and then more people can find out about the show.
Yes, it's also on the video portion of this is also on the Frenchitivity YouTube channel as well. So,
And
don't
yes,
forget about
I know we haven't mentioned it really. I
the
mean, we
guide.
dropped it a little bit in before, but we are creating a travel guide based on everything that we mentioned. So a summary that you can check out about the places that we went, the highlights, and we try to create those after each episode. So you can find that at Frenchitivity.com/Croatia. Frenchitivity.com/Croatia.
Well, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed kind of going down this path again. This is, again, kind of therapeutic, kind of fun, all those different things for us to be able to recapture the memories that we were able to make on this amazing trip. So
Yeah, I
it's
hope
been
you
fun.
always hear that it's more than just about the travel. It's about the family moments, about reconnecting to our values, about experiencing something together that really changes our perspective and has made us better humans as we continue to navigate and return.
Thanks so much for spending time with us, the Frenchitivity family. And next up is magical Malta.
We'll see you next time.
Frenchitivity, Frenchitivity, all over